Also, just what I was gonna say about West is, although he is imperfect, he also is quite problematic because he makes some really rash decisions. And although I do appreciate the fact that he's very realistic, and he's not your average, he's not your classic characters that you see in other books. West is like, he's kind of like someone you can relate, but West is really, his character, um I don't really like his character at the same time because he's so problematic. But overall I do like Fable. And also, to top off, with people saying that this is about pirates or this is giving piracy vibes, it really isn't. There is a plenty of adventure, but more than anything, which I said this for the first video, for the previous book review for Fable, that this is more about survival. Yes, there's adventure, but it's really about survival. It's about trading goods, gems, rye, mullein. So it's more about survival than it is about piracy. Yes, it's set in a somewhat like a piracy world with, like, use compass, there's sail, there's mast, there's a description of the ships. But I really think with the sense of adventure, there is a greater sense of survival, of the fittest, killing to survive, fighting to survive, dredging to survive. And that's a really harsh world, which is why I really didn't like Adrian Young's story building for this. It's just not my cup of tea. I said this for the first book as well, which is Babel. So yeah, so overall, in terms of, yeah, so it's just not my cup of tea with terms of the story building. I really do not like the world, but good writing. It's well ended. I kind of know what was gonna happen, but I still liked it. I was still satisfied with the ending. So if I would recommend to readers, you would definitely be satisfied. Another thing about this book, it kept me on my toes. Even though I didn't like the story building, I didn't like the characters of her crew. I didn't like Hamish, West, Willa. Apart from, I didn't personally really liked was Fable and Saint. I didn't really mind Saint. But even so, it did. This book still kept me on my toes. And you know who I also liked was Zola and Koi. He will also appear in this book. But I feel like with this book, Koi, which you would know in the first book, um, I don't want to say what he did, but anyway, in the second book, I really like this character. But I feel like Adrian Young didn't give him enough of the spotlight. I feel like she didn't delve deep with Koi's character. I really want to see more of Koi in this book. He was my favorite character. After Koi is my favorite character first, then is Fable, and he didn't appear as much as I really wanted him to appear. There was a book on about him and Willa, which is called, I believe, Tides by Adrian Young. So it's either Tides or Drift. I think it's Tides. But there is a book about it, and I really want to read it because Koi is in there. I wish Koi appeared more in this book because I liked Koi more than the characters of more than Fable's crew, because I feel like he had more of a personality, he had more character, he had more depth. The thing about this book, it covered more breadth rather than depth. There was a lot going on, but I feel like Adrian Young could have delved deeper, personally, in my opinion, into the other characters. She really wanted to round off the good story, good plot, but I feel like she could have delved a lot more deeper with the characters like Willa, Hamish, Oster, because I really do even know to this day about what's Hamish background is, where's he from. We just said he was a stray, but we don't know what happened, or Padge, what really happened. There wasn't a lot of history on there, there wasn't a lot of background information, so I feel like Adrian Young could have really delved deeper into the characters of a crew. Maybe then I would have liked more because I want to get to know them. And same with Koi. So I know what Koi's background is, but I really wanted more of what's happening with Koi, like more of the spotlight. In terms of rating, it is a lot better than the first book because there's so much going on. It's fast paced, and I did like the fact that it kept me on my toes. Again, with the summer, it is hard to read for me personally because it was just too hot. Summer reading isn't as romantic as people romanticize it on social media. It's can be hard when you like living at home and you've got no air conditioning or fan. So it's kind of hard. But other than that, I really enjoyed reading over the summer, and it kept me on my toes. But I enjoyed it a lot more when the day was cooler than it was when it's hot or when I'm out in the sun. In terms of rating, I would give this a 3.5 to 4. It wasn't my favorite book, but I don't hate it at all. It's a lot better than the first book. I'll have to give it 4 out of 5 stars, actually. 4 stars. So, and would I recommend this to someone else? Yes. But they had to read Fable. Personally, I would recommend reading Fable, just to have a grasp of what the story building is about. The story building of her work, of the world of Fable. But I would recommend Namesake. So, yeah. Thank you for my review. On my next book, for the summer's almost ending, but I still can't wait to read more books. On my next book, I'm not sure what else to read. I think I'm going back to like maybe childhood books like Jacqueline Wilson, or what other books would you recommend? But thank you guys so much for watching and / listening to my book review of Namesake. Definitely check this book out if you haven't read this, but read Fable first. But this book, it kept me on my toes. So I'm sure, I hope it does the same to you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, so thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.